I think one of the reasons why we have such a disconnect right now, especially Taylor, from what you were saying, we want guys to we want them to man up, but yet for the last really 60 some odd years, we've told them to man down. And we've just systematically demasculinized men at the same time we've like masculinized women. And one of I think the more insidious parts of that whole process is that we've made we've turned women into the men that they want to marry in the first place. Well, how did we get to that point? When we talk about we want a worthy man, we like you're saying, you know, we've got to get back to this traditional stuff. I don't think we go back to that. I think we go forward into something like that, but we don't go backwards to where we were before. And the reason for that is because when we're talking about an alpha female, there's no such thing as an alpha female. No such thing as an alpha female.
Or girls, you know, that call themselves that.
I know. And I'm going to tell you why they call themselves that. Because they see what alpha men do, alpha males do, and that is a source of security for them that they have been taught, systematically taught, that they can't trust, and like men are just inherently untrustworthy. They're either Homer Simpson, Dr. Huxtable, whatever, you know, that doofy dad, Homer Simpson, that doofy dad archetype. That's one choice you get. The other choice you get is borderline abuser, who is going to be an asshole that you cannot trust. You certainly can't trust Homer Simpson for your long-term security. You better not trust the son of a bitch who is a borderline abuser. And then we've got the new version, which is the Zoomer version, which is can't drive a stick. He's the incompetent one. He can't change a tire. He can't do jack shit without calling somebody in to come and do it because he doesn't have the competency to do that. Either he is uninterested in learning those skills, or he's just simply incapable of learning those skills. So when you teach 4 generations of women that these are your fucking choices right here, well, what's the most logical, deductive reason? Like, what's the course of action, right? Well, I need to be an alpha female. I need to be the man who can provide my long-term security because none of these can do it, and I'm the one that's going to have to do that. So whenever we see women talking about, like we heard it just on today's show, well, what if he leaves with this secretary? What if he falls off? What if he's not the guy that I want him to be after 6 years, 10 years, 8 years, whatever it is? What if, right? And the contingency for that what if is I got to get the bag. I got to get my education. I've got to join.
It's a sick cycle. We just keep like reinforcing it.
I've got to start doing OnlyFans because that's how I get my money and that's how I'm going to achieve long-term security. How am I going to feed my babies? Because I can't trust this. Even if you could, even if he's a billionaire. And you could, no, I don't know, there's just something that's not right about this guy, and he's not absolutely perfect. Is he the best I can do? And the answer is always going to be no. And so as a result of that, now we've got to get into college. Now we have to have Title IX. Now we have to have all of these special dispensation for women over the course of 4 or 5 generations, right? And so we get to 2024, and women are like, I'm an empowered woman. I got the bag. I'm an alpha female. But the problem is you've become the man that you wanted to marry in the first place. And so what happens is, and I've tried to explain this in like very stupid, simple terms to Dr. Phil when I was on Dr. Phil's show, right? And I said, men have become superfluous. Because the alpha female, the woman who doesn't trust men, she just got no use for any man whatsoever. They're nice to have around, but you don't actually need men. They want men. What are the men that they want? They want Justin Waller. They want fucking Jack Reacher. They want fucking Jason Momoa because that guy lays down the good. And that's really all they need, or they think that they need, because they're already in control of their own long-term security.
Hey, man.
Over the course of...
What about me?
Yeah. What about you? Yes.
No, it's very true. I mean, myself, I've stopped subscribing, if you will, to the constant rhetoric of over and over again, men ain't shit, this, because I feel like it's reflecting in my own universe versus trying to take off these glasses and look at the world through my own
The toughest
eyes.
part for women is, can you trust a man? Can you give up enough? Can you give up your OnlyFans? Can you give up your Instagram? Can you stop advertising your sexuality? Even to the most minute degree. Can you stop doing
yes.
that?
Will I? That's another question.
Probably not, because you're like, but what if he falls off? What if he his secretary? What if he finds a trophy wife? What if I get ugly and fat and he doesn't want to fuck me anymore? What if, and how are we going to send the kids to college if we don't do that kind of stuff? And so there's this need for long-term security for women, But that security is met by them. And then what happens? I'm so tired all the time. I have to do so much fucking work. I've got so much to do. Yeah, because you're trying to do the work of two people. Men and women are innate complements. We're better together than we are apart, but we've been taught to distrust one another because men cannot be trusted for long-term security.
I have a question.
Anyways, that's my rant at the end.
I have a question about that.
Wait.
Kind of.
You had a point real quick?
I did. So the other day, like, my man had said to me, he said, who's the prize in the relationship, the male or the female? And I thought it was very interesting because I feel like we're all going to say, like, the female. We all think it's the female. We're beautiful. We do this and we do that. And he looked at me and he's like, it's not the woman. It's the man. There are a plethora of women who are beautiful. There are a plethora of women with good. There's a plethora of women who have education and want to go get things done. But for a man to be able to lead a woman to greatness who doesn't really have anything at all, which is a lot of us, that is the prize.
No, I would definitely watch this.
I wanted to know what would you categorize the men that are like, I don't want you to need me or want me for my money or for my success or for my status. I just want you to want me for me. Like, what's up with that?
They're fat.
Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, what are they? Are they? Or like, because they'll be successful. I mean, whatever's level of that, but it's like, I don't want you to. How dare you want me for my? It's like, why?
Well, it's because the majority of women that have been with them in the past probably only wanted them for that because they're lacking in sexual market value. That's 9 out of 10 times when guys have money but they don't have anything else. They're square, they're ugly, they're not in shape, they're not masculine, they're not confident, they're not. You know what I mean? They're just not.
Yeah.
And older. Or older. They're used to attractive women just using them for their resources, so they're in defense mode about that.
Yeah. But guys who don't fuck are idealistic and they want that idealism. I want you to want me for me. You still have a burden of performance.
Exactly.
I want it unconditionally. No, you don't want it unconditionally. You want it idealistically.
The only thing I'll say before we close, you said something very interesting, Rollo. You said that women operate on what if, and I agree with you 100% on that. I was going to say women operate on what if and men operate on what now. So, like, he'll get the girl and he'll say, okay, what now? Assuming the girl, doesn't fuck up, isn't, a lot of the times guys rarely break up relationships. So girls really are the ones that end the majority of relationships and, end it. So it's like, women are like, what if? And she ends it, why? What if? Am I getting the best guy? What if I met that other guy? What if I took out that date with
the one that got away?
Yeah. So
Alpha
that's
widows,
what girls always do.
Pretty much the same
Girls
thing.
always operate on what if, and guys operate, I got the girl, what now?
Is he the best I can do?